Hello and welcome back to this episode. So I apologise for no video on Wednesday. There were technical issues and videos wouldn't upload. And it wasn't just me. So hello. First things first, in the real sense of the terms, we have news. Variety published an article, Lord of the Rings reboot in full swing. Warner Brothers film chiefs visit New Zealand earlier this year to reconnect with Peter Jackson, discuss future films. Now, I'm going to put this one into the mix. Companies need to stop using the word reboot. They are not remaking Lord of the Rings. They are not rebooting the franchise. They are not doing that. A reboot is when you clear everything out and start again. A good example of a reboot is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comics that are currently out, which reboot the franchise to be set now, where this is a continuation, sequels, side stories, or not even in the same universe stuff. So a reboot is something completely different to what this article is saying, and it really irritates me. So this is interesting news, and I think I have hope for this. You cannot replicate the original trilogy. They tried. It doesn't work. Although, since Rings of Power, I definitely have a far better opinion of the Hobbit movies, because nothing I've seen in terms of fantasy is as bad as Rings of Power. The article is a bit clickbaity, and I wish just people would stop using it. I think reconnecting with Peter Jackson is a good thing. I think reconnecting with someone who is visionary, who knows what he's doing, and talks about it, despite the people lying about the rights it holding and everything on Twitter right now. Don't believe these morons, because they're doing everything in their power to discredit the Peter Jackson movies. This is kind of what should have happened with the Rings of Power. I think Peter Jackson should have been the one helming it, and it should have been Warner Brothers or HBO. It'll be interesting what stories they explore. So they'll have the same rights: Hobbits, Lord of the Rings, and the appendices, and additional supplementary material which is related to those. So there is a lot they can do there. And I've always said this about adaptation and how it changes. I don't mind changes. I don't mind characters being tweaked and so on. What I do mind is terrible writing, and the Rings of Power writing is atrocious. It's cringy. The writing is bad, and that's been my biggest criticism of it since day bloody one. The writing is bad, the plot is bad, the character development is awful, and it's just a generic fantasy show about a bunch of awful characters that are basically cardboard. I've had tastier bran flakes. Let's be real. So changes in adaptation are perfectly fine. There were changes to the Lord of the Rings movies and so on. But I want good writing. I want good characters. I want good world building. I want something that feels tangible and brilliantly done, rather than changing history to fit a fourth wave feministic propaganda, for want of a better word. Like, this could be something amazing, and it could be terrible. We will wait and see. Peter Jackson is a phenomenal director. I adore his films. He's one of my favourite directors, and he's the one that genuinely loves the franchise and loves Lord of the Rings and Tolkien and so much more, and I have hope. I definitely have hope. I mean, what I would like to see is maybe explore... There's rumours flying around of what they may do. So if they have the appendices, there's some stories in there that would work brilliantly on film. There's loads I can think of. And yes, they would have to be fleshed out a little bit, because it's the nature of that style of thing. But I can see so many things happening here that could be amazing. And like I said, it's always that mixed bag. And I remember saying this about Rings of Power when I first saw it. First heard about it and started reporting on the news, that it could be something amazing, it could be something bad. and what was in place and what was happening, and then everything on the inside came out and we were like, oh god, no. So it comes down to many things in terms of this. I'm curious, what stories, what stuff would you love to see in Middle Earth on screen? Because I'm looking at my collection of books and I'm thinking I would adore it. I'd love them to do the true fall of Numenor. I think that would be spectacular. There's so many things I could see happening that would be amazing. I'd love them to explore Morgoth. I'd love them to explore the backstory of Morgoth and Sauron. And even Gollum. Wouldn't a Gollum movie be good? We don't talk about that awful game, but wouldn't a Gollum movie be good? I know there isn't much story there, or even like a short or something would be fun. There's potential here, and I'm always pessimistic when it comes to this stuff, but we'll see what happens, because, again, you have someone with talent. You have people with talent. And if Peter Jackson comes on board, a lot of people from the previous Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit movies will come aboard. So, this could go so many ways, but yeah, there's a few stories I want to see. There's a few things I'd love to see brought to screen through the First and Second Age. And even the Third Age. I think that would be spectacular. So, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious here, and I will talk to you guys later.